2026, Year of the Fire Horse. Your money, love, and survival guide. The return of the Fire Horse. If the last few years felt slow, or heavy, or stuck, then get ready to run. Happy Lunar New Year. The Fire Horse has returned. A year that appears only once every 60 years. May the Fire Horse bring movement, courage, good fortune, and new beginnings. In the Chinese Zodiac, the horse represents freedom, speed, and independence. But this is not just any horse. This is the Fire Horse. When you add the element of fire to an animal that hates to stand still, you get one word: volatility. This is a year when fortunes can rise overnight and disappear just as quickly. A year of passion, conflict, and high rewards for those who can keep up. Validation of myth. The last Fire Horse year was 1966. Japan was modernizing at high speed. Cities were expanding. Factories worked day and night. Then something unusual happened. The birth rate collapsed. Nearly a quarter fewer births. Roughly 500,000 children who were never born. There was no war, no famine, no epidemic. It was fear. Parents dreaded having a daughter born in a Fire Horse year. Not because she would be weak, but because she would be strong. Too strong. Independent. Hard to control. Dangerous for husbands. Unlucky for marriage. Japan was not alone. In Korea, the taboo became a practical reality. A Fire Horse woman was seen as costly. She could drain her husband's fortune. Families delayed weddings. Some quietly cancelled engagements. In China, the idea was older and more mythic. The Fire Horse carried the spirit of the general, a woman with agency before the word existed. 3 cultures, 1 superstition, and a consequence you can measure. On demographic charts, 1966 still stands out. A missing cohort. The daughters who were never born. What changes in 2026? Now, in 2026, the Fire Horse returns, but the world it returns to is not the world of 1966. The traits that once inspired fear, independence, fire, and unyielding strength are now traits that modern society rewards. A century ago, a woman who refused to bend was a warning. Today, she is a leader. A generation ago, stubbornness signaled disobedience. Today, it signals ambition. The taboo did not vanish. It transformed. What was once considered dangerous in a daughter is now considered necessary in a founder, a negotiator, or a commander. The Fire Horse archetype did not soften. The world hardened around it. The economic shift. In Fire Horse years, the economy moves differently. The visible market slows. The invisible market accelerates. Factories shut down. Ports go quiet. Supply chains freeze in place. This is the great pause. But while the machines stop, the money does not. It moves through envelopes, handshakes, family visits, and private settlements. This is the shadow economy of the Lunar New Year. Billions in cash travel in red envelopes, from the old to the young, from parents to children, from married to unmarried. Debts are settled, allowances are distributed, favors are repaid, wealth bypasses banks and bypasses taxation. It flows through relationships, status, and obligation. The Fire Horse not only moves markets, it moves money. Love and conflict in a fire year. Fire is not only the element of vision, it is the element of the heart. In Fire Horse years, emotions rise to the surface. What we hide in water years, we reveal in fire years. Arguments ignite faster. Breakups arrive suddenly. Romance accelerates. It is intensity without filters. The fire horse encourages movement. Movement in careers. Movement in relationships. Movement in personal choices. Movement has a cost. Passion burns, but it also illuminates. The fire horse and the 12 signs. In the Zodiac, the 12 signs do not stand alone. Each sign carries its own rhythm, its own element, and its own temperament. A fire horse year does not treat all signs equally. Some signs run with the horse, others get in its way. In this system, luck is not random. It is the interaction between nature, timing, and the year. Listen for your sign. Rat. The rat is water. The horse is fire. Water clashes with fire. This makes the year turbulent for the rat. The horse moves fast. Too fast for the rat's quiet calculations. Wealth. The temptation is to gamble, to try to outsmart volatility. Do not do it. This is a year for liquidity, not for bold bets, not for leverage. An unexpected expense may appear around mid-year. A repair, a medical bill, a breakdown. Keep a safety net. Relationships. The pressure from outside follows you home. Be careful not to bring work anxiety to the dinner table. Arguments start small and escalate quickly. Separate stress from affection. The ox is earth. The horse is fire. Fire consumes earth. This makes the year irritating for the ox. The horse skips steps. The ox builds slowly. The pace will not match your nature. Wealth. Do not chase speed. Do not compare yourself to others. Your path this year is tangible. Land, property, metals, assets you can touch. While others try to trade lightning, you build a fortress. Relationships. Silence is your defense. But in a fire year, silence is misunderstood. Speak affection aloud. If you do not, your partner will fill the silence with fear. Tiger. The tiger is wood. The horse is fire. Fire feeds on wood. This makes the year strong for the tiger. The horse loves speed. So does the tiger. Wealth. This is a green light year. Launch the idea. Ask for the raise. Move early. You hunt best when others panic. Relationships. High passion. High drama. If single, a whirlwind connection is possible. If partnered, travel. Adventure absorbs the fire. If you do not choose fun, the fire becomes a conflict. Rabbit. The rabbit is wood. The horse is fire. Fire feeds wood. But the rabbit does not like fire. The year will feel loud, fast, demanding. Wealth. Do not fight the horse. Do not enter high-pressure arenas. Your advantage this year is soft power. Introductions, contacts, favors, diplomacy. Small doors open quietly for the rabbit. Relationships. People will come to you for comfort. Be selective. Comfort is draining. Protect your peace. Dragon. The dragon is earth. The horse is fire. Fire consumes earth. But the dragon carries power. Wealth. The fire horse creates an illusion of prosperity. You may feel richer than you are. Beware luxury spending. Beware status purchases. The fire horse punishes ego. True power this year is cash on hand. Not the car, not the watch. Relationships. Control is the issue. The horse will not be controlled. Lead by inspiration, not by force. Snake. The snake is fire. The horse is fire. Fire meets fire. This creates internal heat. Wealth. While others run, you observe. You spot small opportunities, complex opportunities, hidden opportunities. Trust your intuition. If something feels off, it is. Relationships. Fire heightens jealousy, possession, suspicion. Do not investigate. Ask. Vulnerability cools the fire. Horse. The horse is fire. The fire horse is fire. Fire meets fire. Energy doubles. This is your Ben Mingnian. Ben Mingnian, your own zodiac year. In a Ben Mingnian, traits amplify, strength amplifies, impulses amplify, instability also rises, scrutiny rises. The world watches the horse more closely when it runs in its own year. Wealth, momentum is strong. Money arrives quickly, money leaves quickly. The danger is self-sabotage, impulse over logic. Create a barrier between income and impulse. Separate accounts, delayed access, automated transfers. You are not fighting the market this year. You are fighting yourself. Relationships. You are the star of the year and the spark of most arguments. Apologize early. Apologize often. Red protects the horse in its Ben Mingnian. Wear it. Goat. The goat is earth. The horse is fire. Fire consumes earth, but the goat is the horse's quiet ally. Wealth. This is a year of partnership. Do not go alone. Work with stronger personalities. Let them take the wind. Draft behind them. Your wealth this year is shared, not solo. Relationships. Popularity rises. Invitations multiply. If single, this is a favorable year for connection. If partnered, gentleness becomes strength. Monkey. The monkey is metal. Fire melts metal. Heat brings pressure. Pressure brings invention. Wealth. The standard path will not work. Find the loophole. Find the hack. Find the side door. You thrive in chaos. Use it. Relationships. You treat life like a game. Your partner may not. Use humor to enter the conversation, not to escape it. Rooster. The rooster is metal. Fire melts metal. Order meets volatility. Wealth. The world will look disorganized to you. This is an advantage. Profit appears where others make mistakes. Cleanups, corrections, audits, consulting. People pay for clarity in a fire year. Relationships. Metal is sharp. Fire is reactive. Criticism ignites conflict. Choose silence over precision. Dog. The dog is earth. The horse is fire. Fire consumes earth, but dog and horse share harmony. Wealth. Do not jump. Do not chase. Loyalty pays this year. Consistency pays. Stay where you are. Value accumulates quietly. Relationships. You become the anchor, the protector, the steady one. It is tiring, but bonds deepen. Pig. The pig is water. The horse is fire. Water clashes with fire, but pig softens conflict through comfort. Wealth. Indulgence is the trap. Comfort spending. Mood spending. Set a fun budget early. Protect the rest. Relationships. You lower the temperature of the year. You are the release valve. Let others run. You keep the feast. The history of the Lunar New Year. Before the fireworks, before the red envelopes, before the zodiac animals, there was winter. Winter was not a holiday. Winter was a threat. The earliest Lunar New Year was not a celebration. It was a survival ritual. The calendar had one purpose: to know when winter ends and when spring begins. Thousands of years ago, there were no clocks. There were no spreadsheets. Time was measured through the sky. But the sky is complicated. The sun tells one story. The seasons. The moon tells another. The months. The West chose the sun. The Middle East chose the moon. China refused to choose. It created the lunisolar calendar, a system that breathes, a system that adjusts, a system that follows both light and shadow. This is why the Lunar New Year does not fall on a fixed day. It follows the rhythm of the earth, not the precision of machines. Oracle bones. Before there were calendars, there were questions. The ancient kings of the Shang dynasty cut their questions into bone. Turtle shells, ox shoulder blades, oracle bones. They carved their worries into the surface. Will the harvest survive? Will the rains come? Will winter take us? Then, the bones were placed into the fire. Heat cracked the surface. The cracks became answers. Time was not calculated. Time was interpreted. The first calendar of the Lunar New Year was not a chart. It was a conversation between people, nature, and the divine. The clock of heaven. But time was not only about survival. Time was also about legitimacy. In ancient China, the emperor ruled under the mandate of heaven, Tianming, the belief that heaven grants authority as long as the ruler aligns with the cosmos. If the emperor could predict the sky, the mandate was secure. If the predictions failed, if eclipses came too early, if seasons arrived too late, if harvests collapsed, the mandate was questioned. Losing the calendar meant losing the throne. The Lunar New Year was not just a festival, it was the clock of heaven. Imperial astronomy. This is why emperors built observatories, not for curiosity, but for power. Astronomers watched the sky, tracked the stars, measured shadow lengths, recorded eclipses, and adjusted the calendar. Their goal was simple: keep heaven and earth in sync. The New Year announcement was not just a date, it was proof that the cosmos and the dynasty were still aligned. The calendar drift. But even the best systems drift. Over centuries, the imperial calendar began to slip. Seasons drifted out of phase. Eclipses arrived off schedule. For ordinary people, this was inconvenient. For an emperor, it was dangerous. If the emperor could not keep time, how could he claim heaven's favor? The Jesuit intervention. Then came an unusual alliance. In the 1600s, Jesuit missionaries arrived in China with telescopes, star charts, and advanced mathematics. Men like Adam Shaw and Ferdinand Verbiest entered the imperial court, not as priests, but as astronomers. They helped fix the calendar. They predicted eclipses precisely. They repaired the clock of heaven. It is one of history's quiet ironies. The most Chinese of festivals was preserved, in part, by foreign mathematics. The Great Race. In the old legend, the Jade Emperor needed order. He called for a race across the river. 12 animals were invited. The order in which they arrived would become the order of the Zodiac. The rat was small. The river was wide. The rat could not swim well. But the rat was clever. It waited for the ox, strong, steady, and kind. The ox agreed to carry the rat. They crossed together, but just before the finish, the rat leaped from the ox's head and touched land first. The rat became the first sign. The ox became the second. Then came the tiger, fighting currents and wind. Third place. The rabbit arrived on a floating log. Fourth. But where was the dragon? The dragon could fly. It should have been first. Yet it arrived fifth, because along the way, it made rain for a village in drought, and it blew a gust of wind to push the rabbit's log ashore. Power used for mercy, not for victory. Then came the snake, quiet and coiled. Sixth. The horse galloped fast, but the snake startled it at the finish. Seventh. Then came the goat, the monkey, and the rooster, working as a team, sharing the raft, pushing one another forward. Eighth. Ninth. 10th. The dog arrived next. 11th. Distracted by the water, playing too long in the river. And last came the pig, tired, content, and unhurried. 12th. This is how the order of the Zodiac was set. The missing cat. But in the legend, there is also the cat. The cat and the rat were once friends. They planned to run together, but the cat loved to sleep. It asked the rat to wake it. The rat did not. The cat missed the race. This is why there is no cat in the Zodiac. and why, even today, the cat still holds a grudge against the rat. Preparing for the Lunar New Year. Preparing for the Lunar New Year is a sequence of rituals that order the household, the body, and the mind. The first is cleaning, the great sweep. In the days before the new year, every corner is scrubbed, every room is cleared. Dust is removed from shelves, from windows, and from floors. This is not housekeeping, it is purification. You are sweeping away the remnants of the old year, its stagnation, its arguments, its misfortunes, its dust. But once the new year begins, the broom must be hidden. If you sweep on the first day, you sweep away your new luck. You throw wealth out the door, settling debts. The second ritual is repayment. Debts are settled, loans are returned, favors are acknowledged. You begin the new year light, unburdened, unentangled. In a culture built on obligation, you cannot start a new chapter while still paying for the old one. Appearance as signaling. Then comes the renewal of appearance. New clothes, new shoes, fresh haircuts. Not vanity, signaling. You are telling the universe, I am new, I am ready. But haircuts must come before the new year, not during. If you cut your hair during the festival, you are cutting off your fortune. The color red. And then there is red. Red underwear, red socks, red banners, red lanterns. Red is not decoration. Red is defense. In the legend, red frightened the Neon, the beast of the dark year. We do not wear red to look good. We wear red to survive uncertainty. Food, family, and fire. When the sun sets, the family gathers. This is the reunion dinner, the most important meal of the year. The table is not random. It is a map. Elders sit facing the door. Children serve them. Sons pour tea. Daughters present dishes. Every plate on the table means something. Fish. There is always fish. But you do not finish the fish. You leave the head and the tail. The word for fish, you, sounds like the word for surplus. If you eat it all, you have nothing left. If you leave some, you carry abundance into the new year. Dumplings. There are dumplings. Jiaozi. Look at their shape. They resemble ancient gold ingots. You are not just eating food, you are eating wealth. Noodles. There are noodles. Long, unbroken, almost absurdly long. They are longevity noodles. You do not cut them. You do not bite them. If you sever the noodle, you symbolically sever your lifespan. Firecrackers. Outside, the air explodes. Firecrackers crack like thunder. In the West, fireworks are for the eyes. In China, they are for the ears. They are loud for a reason. They are claiming space. They are scaring away the beast, the neon of winter. Fire makes noise. Noise makes safety. Red envelopes. Then comes the moment of excitement. The red envelope. Hongbao. Money travels from the married to the unmarried, from the old to the young. It is not just payment, it is protection. A transfer of yang energy, life force, from one generation to the next. The money matters, but the envelope is the blessing. Chunyon, the spring migration. Today, the ancient rituals collide with modern logistics. The new year triggers Chunyon, the spring festival migration. It is the largest annual movement of people on the planet. Billions of trips. Airports overflow. Highways clog. Train stations become oceans of bodies. A train ticket during Chunyon is not just travel. It is emotional currency. It is the proof that you care enough to come home. The interrogation. But arriving home brings its own pressure. Young people call it the interrogation. At the table, they face the traditional questions. How much money do you make? When are you getting married? When are you having children? The elders want security. The youth want freedom. The new year becomes a negotiation between generations, debt and restriction. In the past, settling debts was social. Today, it is literal. Under the social credit system, those on a debtor blacklist cannot buy plane tickets. They cannot ride high-speed trains. They are physically blocked from going home until they pay. Scams and vigilance. And there are new dangers. Scammers know that grandmothers carry cash for red envelopes. Digital fraud peaks during the holiday. The new year is a time to be generous, but also a time to be vigilant. "15 days of the Lunar New Year. Day 1, welcoming the year. Day 1 is loud. Firecrackers claim the morning. Noise drives away misfortune. Doors open to fortune. Cleaning stops. Visiting begins. You do not sweep on day 1. You do not wash away new luck. Day 2, returning to parents. Day 2 belongs to married daughters. In-laws are visited first, parents second. Respect moves through the family in a deliberate order. Red envelopes travel downward. Blessings travel upward. Day 3, the day of conflict. Day 3 is quiet. No visits, no meetings, no negotiations. Arguments ignite easily on day 3. The wise stay home. The door remains closed. Day 4, the day of the sheep. Day 4 softens. Small offerings are made. Food returns to the table. Conversation returns to the house. Harmony re-enters the room. Day 5, the god of wealth arrives. Day 5 is for fortune. Firecrackers are set off early to welcome wealth into the home. Shops reopen. Businesses resume. Money begins to move. Day 6, opening the roads. Day 6 returns movement to society. Travel resumes, markets open, deliveries restart, obstacles clear. The freeze of the festival begins to thaw. Day 7, the day of humans. Day 7 celebrates humanity. It is everyone's birthday. A day without hierarchy, no ranks, no comparison. A quiet democracy of age. Day 8, grain and work. Day 8 honors food, prayers for grain, blessings for harvest. The year depends on the field. In modern cities, the ritual transforms into preparations for work. The day 9, the heavenly birthday. Day 9 reaches upward. Incense rises. Altars are arranged. The old cosmology returns briefly to the modern home. Day 10, feasting. Day 10 resumes feasting. Hospitality becomes an obligation. Visits must be returned. Meals must be reciprocated. No one should be left unacknowledged. Day 11, hosting. Day 11 continues the rhythm. Those who ate must now host. Those who received must now give. The holiday becomes a circuit of reciprocity. Day 12, closing tables. Day 12 concludes the rounds. The tables begin to close. Leftovers diminish. Guests thin. Noise fades. Day 13, simplicity. Day 13 withdraws. After feasting comes simplicity. Vegetables replace richness. Tea replaces wine. The body resets. The year must begin clean. Day 14. Lantern preparation. Day 14 is for light. Paper is cut. Frames are assembled. Silk is stretched. Candles are tested. The home prepares for illumination. Day 15. The Lantern Festival. On the 15th night, the lanterns rise. Fire returns as light, not noise. The festival closes gently. The year opens fully. Lanterns guide the spring forward. The circle completes. The Lantern Festival. Eventually the frenzy ends. The trains empty. The firecrackers fade. The shouting quiets. On the 15th night, the Lantern Festival begins. Light replaces noise. Lanterns rise into the sky or drift through streets, glowing like small planets. There is a symmetry here. The new year begins with fire, loud, explosive, defiant, to chase away the dark. It ends with lanterns, soft, contained, peaceful, to guide the way forward. Time completes its circle. Winter steps aside. Spring returns. The Lantern Festival reminds us, no matter how hard the winter, the moon resets. We always get another beginning. The return of the fire horse. And now, the circle brings us to the fire horse, a sign that appears only once every 60 years. A sign feared in the past for its volatility, its independence, and its refusal to submit. In 1966, the birth rate in Japan dropped by 25%. More than 500,000 babies were never born. Why? Because parents believed that daughters born in the year of the fire horse would be too strong, too willful, too impossible to tame. They feared a woman who could not be controlled. That was 1966. But the world of 2026 is not the world of 1966. The qualities once considered dangerous, independence, speed, uncompromising will, are now assets. The fire horse no longer threatens the household, it accelerates it. This year will move quickly. Opportunities will flash and disappear and return in unexpected forms. It will be a year of volatility, in money, in relationships, and in ambition. The question is not whether the fire horse will run. The question is whether you will run with it. A final blessing. Happy Lunar New Year. May the fire horse bring movement, courage, and new beginnings. May it light the path ahead and remind us that time is a circle and spring always returns.